Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'll making a video on one of what the common mistakes people make when they are buying a new smartphone. Like normally people would give you tips and tricks or things to look for when you are buying a used phone, but I would give you tips and tricks when you're buying a new phone. There are some things that even now in 2021 most people ignore, like simply if you think about it, they would buy a smartphone from like any company, any unknown local company, without even checking what's its history, what's the user opinion about it. And once they buy it, even like according to them they got the best value for money, but later on they find out that if they had put a little bit more money in, like they increased their budget like from 15 to 20,000, they might have gotten a phone from a much reputable company which had almost a good history, or at least a decent history, and you could buy a phone that is very good and you can really say that that is the best value for money. Like here I have with me the Realme C3. Here's the perfect example. When I am buying a smartphone, like a new smartphone, first I decide what my budget is. And once you decide a budget and you kind of said in Pakistan, I have the budget from 20 to 30,000, and this is the most common budget range in which people buy smartphones. Like they don't go above 30, or they avoid to go above 30, or avoid to go below 20, because they kind of have an idea that if they go below 20 they might not get a good deal, or they might get a phone below 20, but the company might have a very spotty history. Like maybe they had some smartphones, then they stopped making, now they're coming back again, and these are mostly the local brands. And like here I have the Realme C3 with me, right? And and then if you go above 30 you will get good phones, but value for money is a bit questionable. Like, are you getting the full value for money? Like the amount of money you spent, are you getting the good amount of value? For example, here I have the Realme C3 with me. When I was looking into buying a new phone, first when I heard about the Realme, I didn't know what Realme is, what's its history and everything, so I ignored the brand for that particular time. But later on, over the years, I learned that Realme is a sub brand of Oppo, and how it came into being, and how many smartphones it's released, and what's its history. Like the C3, the C series, and you also have to look into like the support. Like, does a phone, like if a phone's history is good, does it is it like it has a history, like where at one point it stopped making smartphones, then all of a sudden it started making again, or something like that. If a smartphone has that kind of history, then you can be rest assured that this like that company you can avoid, because you can clearly see through it. Like you are not so sure if you buy a phone right now it's really good, later on maybe after a few months that company goes out of business or stops making the smartphones itself, then and you are not so sure whether you'll get that same level of support, and you will stop recommending that phone. So first you have to look at the company. Like here Realme, it's been a few years of it coming in the market, and at first it was a sub brand of Oppo and only coming with budget smartphones. Like Oppo is releasing a flagship smartphone, the Realme is releasing a budget smartphone. At first this was known for the budget focused smartphones. Later on it started separating itself from Oppo and started offering mid-range smartphones. Smartphones like this phone, when it came out in last year, it was around 20,000 rupees, Pakistani rupees. And if you think about it, the display, the notch it has, it doesn't have that high refresh rate, and you can say that it has micro USB, but there are some things other than these, the micro USB or the speaker position, or even you might say the megapixel not that much. What people do is they just see the price. Like if this wasn't Realme, it was some other local brand, that I'm pretty much sure right now, like if you buy a local brand smartphone of this price, you are not so sure whether you'll get support at least even for an year. Like this phone, Realme has promised that you'll get at least 1 year of support. After that, you'll get the monthly security updates, and then it will be finished. So you can at least you can rely on the company being like it has a history where it gives the software updates, and it's kind of getting better and better with time, with every Android version. So you can be like, okay, this brand is kind of sticking to its words and trying to provide the best level of support that it can, even for a budget smartphone. There are some companies which are releasing budget smartphone, like a lot of companies are releasing it, but when it comes to support, you are like, no company will give you an assurance like till when they will support. Unless, yes, you can be like, okay, a one smartphone company is starting today and starts to release a budget smartphone, and you can wait for 1-2 years till the time it will release 2 or 3 smartphones, and some users will have its opinion. Some good tech reviewers will give you an opinion whether you should try to buy the smartphone or you should ignore it, because they have an experience, like they are using flagship smartphones, and sometimes when they use the budget smartphone, they can figure out whether what that company is trying to promise, can it fulfill it. And over the years you can keep back checking, like when Realme released the first smartphone, like Realme 1, it was slowly trying to spread its in the other markets, but that time nobody knew what Realme is, what it's doing. But the only reason this brand succeeded at first was because it had Oppo in its back. Oppo was a well-established Chinese brand, and everyone knew, like since Oppo is supporting this brand can do a lot of things, or at least can offer a budget smartphone in the budget price for the right amount of value. So now, even though this brand is separating itself from Oppo, like giving you Realme UI and starting to slowly make a little bit changes, but still now people have at first it gained the trust of the people. Now it's trying to separate itself so that it can make its own identity and be a separate brand. That's as far as the brand goes. When you're trying to buy a smartphone, like this is the Realme C3, so it's from the C series. You have to look into it whether because a lot of companies, even well-established companies, sometimes all of a sudden release a new smartphone, new series, new everything. Like maybe sometime just like Samsung releases a Samsung W1 or some brand, series or M series. So you have to also look into it whether it's the first smartphone of that series, or if and if it is a first smartphone of the series, you have to be careful with the support, after sales service. You cannot be like, just because that a well-established company is already giving good support to its flagship does not mean it will give a good support to its new series. So you have to wait at least for a couple of months, for at least a year or two, till the time you don't get a successor of that phone. Then you can be 100% sure, since this company has given like 2 years of support and 3 years of monthly updates to its previous smartphone. Now you can be like, okay, now I'll buy this phone. That's how I got into Realme. At first I was like staying away from Realme, like I don't know what this is. But slowly, when I saw that it's releasing a lot of smartphones, it's giving good support, and it's sticking to its words, and it's kind of giving a kind of stock-ish Android experience. Some people might say Realme UI is not a stock experience, but at least for me, on the budget side, you can't get this much closer to a stock experience than Realme UI, at least in the Asian market. If you go to some other market, you have to be very specific. Like if you're in US or somewhere else, you have to be very specific according to your place where you are buying the smartphone from, so that you get the best value for money. Just don't go because someone is saying buy a Samsung, buy a smartphone, you just go and buy Samsung. You might have requirements like you want a good camera. Even till now in 2021 in the Asian market, most people, what they're doing, they're seeing the price. They don't check what the brand is, what its history is, what like the processor is, what the storage is, what the other specifications. They just see, okay, this price like 15,000 rupees, okay, buy the smartphone. But nowadays people have to be more specific, because now once they buy it, they have to stay with that phone at least for an year before like they think about, okay, let's get a new one. At least minimum an year they have to spend with that phone. So it's better to invest. The people just think, oh, I'm just buying a smartphone, okay, even if I get a bad value, no problem, I'll spend a year, then I'll get a new one. At least you're going to spend a year and you'll have a very bad experience. And sometimes people who have bad experience with some brands, they might stop using that brand smartphone entirely, like just because they had one bad experience. Even though they should realize that if they invested just a little bit more time, like a smartphone is announced today, they should wait at least for a week and check all its competition, what the other competitions are offering, for what price, what processor, what camera, what other users, the tech reviewers' opinion about it. Then you should be like, okay, now a lot of people are saying this is the best value for money, and this is the reason why why this is best value for money. Like even if somebody's preference is just so they can get a phone of 20,000 rupees just to make a phone call, if they get good camera, good performance, good display and everything, that will be plus point for them and more value for money for them. So you always have to check the brand, its history, and then when you're buying a smartphone of any series, you have to be sure that you check its history, like the series history, what kind of is it the first smartphone, or does it have any predecessor to it? And if it has any predecessor, it's a good thing. You can check those reviews, opinions, long-term reviews that people will give, like what they say, should anyone buy the next successor of that phone. And that's how you can kind of get much closer to your perfect smartphone. Like no smartphone is perfect, even this smartphone might have some issues or some things that are lacking in it, but no company will ever make a perfect smartphone, because if it makes a perfect smartphone for the right value of money, they will lose business. So they have to make some sort of compromise at some point, at a place at which, like, when a customer is looking, he's like, okay, this is good, and it's fine. Once the successor comes, they see, oh, this is now upgraded, which was lacking, now I'll get this one. So you always have to check, not just be like, okay, this is the price and this is the design and the camera, I don't really care. In future, like even like when now 5G is in US and everywhere, it's not like spreading like 100% on every place, so it's had some limitation. But a lot of people are like, okay, 5G doesn't matter because it's not in, like in Pakistan there's no 5G, and even right now 5G smartphones are not widely available in Pakistan. But like if 5G was not here and smartphone companies started offering 5G smartphones, if you could get a smartphone at a budget like around 20,000 rupees with 5G, you'll be like, okay, I don't really need it right now, but it's kind of a good future proofing. If you keep the phone for more than an year, you can be like, okay, if right, this phone doesn't have 5G right now, but if it had, and you assume that by next year 5G will be available in Pakistan readily, like all over the places, you can be like, okay, right now it doesn't matter to me, but when 5G is available and I have this existing smartphone, you can be like, okay, I'll just get the 5G SIM and insert it, and I'll be ready to use 5G instead of buying a new smartphone. If your work or your job requires, or you are like, okay, I need 5G or I need the latest and greatest. There are some people who are like, okay, I need the best of the best display, best phone, best camera, best everything. But most people, what they do is they look for the best value for money. They don't be like, okay, it's Samsung, get the S21 Ultra, it's the best phone, it's the latest phone. Those phones some people will buy, but most people will prefer buying a smartphone that can provide you well for money. Like if the Samsung S21 Ultra had, like, the price is low and the specs are really good, then people would say like this, that's the best value for money, buy that. But it's not. So what my final tips are, like, you have to be careful with the brand, the smartphone, the series, like which series, like C series, X series, any series, the camera, the history, whether this phone has a predecessor, and check the track record history of that smartphone company, that phone, and then you decide whether the amount you are spending on it, is it best value for money. Like, can you spend any lower than this and get a better specification set than this? If you can, then you should be also look into that smartphone. But if not, then you should be like, okay, now I checked every single point of the smartphone, and from almost every, like, 9 out of 10 points, it's better than any other smartphone and providing best value for money. There's no compromise in this and this. Like, the camera is good, the wide angle camera is good, the fingerprint sensor is speedy. Then you'll be like, okay, now I'm getting best value for money, so I'll buy this smartphone. At first, before, people used to do this, like, okay, this much I only need to make call and messages, okay, spend this much to get the phone. But now you have to spend a little bit more time, not a lot, but just a little bit, to compare with other smartphones, other competitions, the price, the specifications, the camera, every single tiny detail, and then you decide, okay, now am I getting the best value for money? If you are, then you should spend that money. If not, then wait for a little more time. Maybe some other company will release a better phone for the same price. Then you will be like, okay, this phone is much better, now let's buy it. So these are my tips and tricks for when you're buying a new smartphone. That's all for today. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.